Looks like Facebook Live should be coming on, and we'll start in probably about 2 more minutes. I see the numbers coming in. I think we're up to about 80 people and rising. Okay. One last check here on the Facebook. Make sure that is rocking. And it looks like it is. All kinds of good stuff popping up. Okay. So, okay, I said 2 minutes. I'll give 30 more seconds. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for coming in tonight. Really do appreciate it. All right. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started. We've crossed the 100 participants line, so I figure we'll go ahead and get started because I know some of you are probably either wanting to get to dinner or dinner sitting at the table, or you're going to get to it soon. So I don't want to take too much of your time tonight. But this is important as we start the first week of the school year. So it's our Friday for our first 4-day week of the 2020-21 school year. Congratulations, we made it. Woo, what a week. My name is Addison Pate. I am the communications coordinator for the Three Rivers School District, and I will be facilitating tonight's parent training of Canvas. With me tonight to assist and provide a whole lot of guidance is our technology director, Rob Saunders, and he will be hopefully trying to answer your questions. And we'll get to a lot of the ins and outs of how we're going to be working on this here in just a minute. So what we're going to be doing tonight is talking about Canvas and how that plays out as a parent in this distance learning at home environment. Now, you may be a K-3 parent, and this will be just as important for you because ultimately, when the day comes that all of our students can finally come back and be in the building, we're still going to use Canvas because we found that Canvas is a learning management system that is really easy to use. So I hope that you will take this opportunity to really get to know this great piece of software and hopefully take away some really good tips and tricks on how to make this a welcome tool in managing your students' education experience for the years to come. Okay, so let's get started. And I've got my slideshow here, but we're going to bounce between it and the website so you can see what you're doing. So basically, how do I use this Canvas thing to check on my kids' schoolwork and connect with what's going on in their class? That's the question I'm going to shoot to answer tonight and give you some tips and tricks on how to make that the most effective resource you can when it comes to managing your student in their experience in the classroom for this school year. It's a great question, and it's one that's going to feel messy because this is new. It's going to feel messy because we're dealing with distance learning at home. It's going to feel messy because we're in the middle of a wildfire situation. There's just lots of mess going on, but that's okay. We're going to figure this out. And I'm here to help, Rob's here to help, and we're going to be here to help kind of guide you through some of these fundamentals so that you can feel comfortable and better about this process. Who am I? Well, I've already told you I'm the communications coordinator here with the district, but I'm also a parent. I have a first-time kid going to school this year who's a kindergartner. And so I'm learning Canvas, not just because I believe in the software and I'm serving the district and serving you, but because I've got that little one. And I want to make sure that I'm doing everything I can to connect to her and how we manage what's going on in her school experience. So this is important to me too. So I'm not just talking about this because I have to. I'm talking about it because I know how important it is to have that connection, and I want you to have that connection with your students as well. Okay, so what are we going to do for this online webinar? How does this work? Well, I'm going to say a bunch of stuff. I'm going to show you a bunch of things, and I'm going to try to go as slow as I can so that you can kind of take a few notes or at least kind of get the fundamentals of it as I do it. This is being recorded on Facebook so that on our Facebook page, you will be able to come back and watch this again. If you remember you want to go and find that one thing that I did that one time, it will be available. Now, throughout this, there's a box. If you're on the Zoom, you should see a Q&A option icon. Looks like a little talkie box with the letters Q&A. If you click on that box, it'll open up and allow you to ask questions. And those questions we will try to answer either directly through a response typed out, or if it's a question that we think is something everybody needs to know, we'll try to answer it there. I do encourage you, put your questions in Q&A. Don't throw them in the chat box. The chat box, it can get messy and lost, and we don't want to lose any questions. Now, if you're watching this on Facebook, we may not necessarily be able to get to your questions, but there is the comments, and you are welcome to paste a question in the comments, and we will try to get to those as much as we can. And if we don't get to your question tonight, we will be putting these tips and tricks on our website where you'll be able to come back to them again. Okay, so as we said before, post them in Q&A. That's where the questions go. Or you are also welcome to email at trsd@3rivers.k12.or.us. All right, let's get started. So one little thing before we get going. All of this that I'm about to show you tonight is available on YouTube, and this presentation will be available on Facebook. Okay, so think of this as much as inspiration as it is learning, because you can go back and find these resources again and again, and I'm going to show you where you can find those resources with the parent letter that went out that is also available on our website. Okay, so make sure that you don't get too worked up about you missed this, oh, he went too fast. Don't worry, there are options here. And if I look over here, it's because I'm trying to look at my screens and it feels very weird when I'm looking at myself, but we'll get through this. This is the fun part of distance learning. Okay, so fundamentals. We got to go through the two most fundamental things first, which is how do I connect to this Canvas thing as a parent? What are the steps I got to do? So that's what we're going to do first here is I'm going to show you those two steps. The first step is really something that you're going to have to do with your student. Okay, and what we're going to do, what I'm going to show you here is what I mean. You have to get a pairing code to connect your account with your student. So your child, and I'm going to shrink my presentation here so we can get to the screen. Your child is going to have their own Canvas account. Oh, there's my Q&A. All right, put that over there. Okay, so your child is going to have their own account. Now, for tonight's purposes, I'm using a mythical student who has been created. Because ultimately, my own child has nothing to see. And two, this is a way to kind of show you a couple different things we've already worked on. So your child, when they get their Chromebook, or they have their iPad or whatever device that they are using from the district, when they log in to their Google account, it should automatically take them to the Canvas homepage. And what you're looking at right now on your screen is a student's Canvas homepage. And so this is what your student sees every day. First thing they should see when they log in is this option of, here are my classes, here's my to-do list, here are my main icons to connect with. So we're not going to go down the route of what all of the things your student needs to do. They'll be working with their teachers over the next few weeks to really kind of get themselves in the game there. This is about the parents and how can you connect with this information. So the first thing we have to do is we have to connect it using a code. So once your child logs in, or if you log in for your child, what you're going to want to do is go up to account. Okay. And under the account option, you'll see the word settings. In these settings over here on the right, there's this random box that says pair with observer. You are the observer. So you need a code to connect with your student. So when you click on pair with observer, it's going to give you this code. Now I would suggest doing both these options just to make sure. I would right click and copy it. But then I would also write it down just so you have it in both places. That way, if the copy didn't work, you're ready to go. That's step one. Get into your kid's account and get an observer code. And you can get that by clicking on account, settings, and then pair with observer. Copy the code And now it's time for part 2. You got to have your own account. So what you're going to want to do is on your own device, if you can do this, there's a cell phone app, and we will talk about that here in a bit. But on a separate browser, you're going to need to log in to the Canvas login for our parents. Okay, so I'm going to show it to you. It's on the document that I'm going to show you the link to. And you're welcome to, if you're rewatching this video, pause right now and copy this account down. But this is the web address, threerivers.instructure.com/login/Canvas. And you know what? I will just go ahead and post that in the chat just so it's there, so everybody can see it. Post to all panelists and attendees. There we go. So everybody should now have that link. That should make that life a little easier. Okay. It's going to take you to this page here. Okay. This is the parent login page. Now you're new. You don't have a login yet. So you need to make one. At the top right corner, you'll see need a Canvas account. And that's what you click on. Now it takes you to, here's where I sign up. Are you a teacher? No. Are you a student? No. You're a parent. So you're going to parent sign up here. You'll type in your name. You'll type your email. You'll create your own password. And the most important part is this is where you would paste your code. And if it didn't copy, you would type in your code. Once you hit start participating, it's you. You now have Canvas Observer access to your child's account. Okay, so those are your 2 big steps. You've got to get the Observer code, and then you have to open your own Canvas account by going to the Canvas login website and signing up for your own account. Now, once you have your own account, you'll just log in from this page. So I would encourage you, once you get there, you do click on the bookmark it. If you're not using the app, bookmark it so that you can get to it at any point. Can I have multiple children? Can I have multiple children? Yes, you can. You can add all your kids under your one parent observer account. You just got to get individual codes for each child. And so you'll just add a code, and I'll show you that in just a second. So I'm going to log in now to my parent account. Now, for now, I've only got the fake student under my parent account. This is his screen. He has a 5th grade music class. He has a digital educators course, and he has a 4th grade class. Now, these are just random because I've been working with some teachers across the district to kind of give an idea. But you're seeing what your child can see. You're just seeing it from your point of view. Okay. So I'm going to try to hit a couple different pieces here. I'm going to go through what I like to call my top 5 and top 5 tricks for parents in order to give you kind of the thing you need to know, the thing that will make your life so much easier when you're using Canvas. Okay. So the first one is make it yours. Customize your parent dashboard so you know what you want to find out. Okay. You don't need to look at it from your student's point of view. You need to look at it from your point of view. So in the case of a student who might have a high school, middle school student who might have 3 classes, you may want to line your classes up so that 5th grade McKee Digital, this doesn't mean anything to me. I need it to look like what I need it to look like. These 3 little dots on a class, if you click on them, it's going to show you there's a nickname spot and there's a color spot. Let's say for the sake of argument, I wanted fake student, we're going to call him Jim. I want Jim's math class to be easy to find. So you know what I'm going to call this? Jim's math class. And I'm going to make it green because math just feels green to me. So now when I go in and I want to go look for Jim's math class, boom, there's Jim's math class. And I can just click on it. And you can do that for every single one of the classes your student has. Now, this doesn't change what your student sees. This changes what you see. So now you can set your classes up. When you're dealing with multiple students, as a couple of you have asked, what you're going to be working with there is you will have all of them added. Well, you don't want them to all look the same because you may want to look at your daughter's classes one day. You may want to look at your son's classes one day. And so you could color code them to the student so that you know all the purple ones are your sons, all your blue ones are your daughters, all your pink ones are your other daughters. You can do it however you want to. And that's always a possibility. Okay. So number 1 tip is make this screen work for you so you can find your kids' classes quickly. And that way you're not hunting for things, you know where to go, okay? All right, so that's step one, or tip number one. Tip number two, adjust your notifications. Don't get flooded with tons of communications, and don't cut your communications off or you'll never find out what's going on. So here's what I mean. To the mom who has 4 kids in 3 different schools, you got an elementary, a middle, and 2 high school kids. You are going to get hundreds of emails a day from all the teachers sending all the different things if you don't set up notifications to communicate the way you want to communicate. So now that we have an account and now that we're looking at our students' page, let's make this work for us. Go up to account. And when you go up to account, you've got settings just like your child does, but this is about your settings. And we're going to look at notifications. Holy mackerel, look at all these different notifications. You could get notified right away. You can get send a daily summary. You can get send a weekly summary, or don't send me anything. I don't need that. You have choices for all the ways that teachers can communicate. So I encourage you, take the time to go down this list, and you don't have to do it for each student. You can set this for, and all the students you add, it's the same notification profile. Okay, so if you don't need to see the due dates, because your kids are pretty good about meeting their due dates. Okay, you know what? I'll just keep that as a weekly summary. So every week I'll get an email that tells me, here are all the things that are due, and I can talk to my son or daughter about those due dates. If you have a kid who seems to forget everything, including when things are due, then you may want to change that to notify me right away. I need to know when an assignment comes online so that I can be prepping my kid to get that assignment done. Same thing. Course content, announcements. I send an announcement every day. That's the way I've used Canvas in the past, is I will send an announcement. Sometimes I'll send 3 or 4 announcements when I'm having really great ideas. You do not want all of those announcements in your email box along with every other teacher's announcements. So you may say, you know what, I don't need the announcements. I'll get them all one time a day or one time a week, or you know what, if it's important enough, my kid will tell me and I don't want it. The bottom line here is you want to make sure you set this the way you want it, because the last thing you want is to get irritated by this all the time because it seems like it's just flooding you with communications. And you don't want to turn this off and you not find out about the important parts that you need to know about in order to maintain that connection with your child in their classes. So tip 2 is to go to the account and go to notifications and make sure that you set your notifications the way you want to receive that information. Okay. Okay. So number 3, let me go back to my screen here. 3, know their calendar. This is probably the least used and most beneficial tool of all in Canvas, especially if you've got a kid in junior high or high school where you have multiple students. The calendar is the way you can see everything that's due, that's happening in one place. I'm going to show you. You'll click on calendar. Now notice on this calendar, there is my calendar. There are the 3 classes that my fake child is in, and they're color coded. And they're color coded based on how I designed them. So I see Jim's math class is green because I created it to be green. So I'm not looking for what my kid's looking for. I'm looking for what I'm looking for. And so if I don't want to look at that, I can turn it off. You know what? I don't need to see Jim's math class. I just want to focus on 5th grade McKee. Okay, all these guys a daily check-in. Woo, good. The calendar is the place that you can see where everything is done or not done. If an assignment is due and the child has done it and has submitted it, you're going to see a scratch through, a line through that assignment. Okay, good. They turned it in. Great. If the day, excuse me, if the day is passed and they haven't and it's still there, well, then something's not quite right here and we need to figure out what's going on. Hey, this daily check-in, he didn't check in. Something's going on. Let's talk to our son about it and figure out what's happening. Okay, this is the way that you can easily see all the things that are due or coming due in a month or in a week, or if you want to look at it on an agenda list. But a lot of times parents don't think to just take that one step over to the calendar and look at the big picture first before they start going into classes and looking around at other pieces. So number 3, learn to love the calendar. Number 4, say hello. Not to the device, not to your computer. Say hello to your teacher. Okay. And here's what I mean. It's also really easy. We're working with our teachers now. This is going to be the way we are going to try and center all of our communications, because it is so easy to get in and so easy to work on. Let me show you. There is an inbox here. This is your inbox, not your students. And in this inbox, teachers can send the parent a direct email without having to send it to the child. And you can email directly to your teacher. For this exercise, I use the class I created in my teacher account to send this parent email. Hey, good news. I wanted to tell you, say a quick hello. I'm your son's teacher. They're awesome, and you should be very proud. Take care, Mr. Pate. Now, you want to reply back to the teacher? Reply back to the teacher. I encourage every one of you watching this tonight, if you haven't received a message by next Thursday from a teacher, reach out. All you have to do is click compose a new message, pick the course, whatever course you need to send to. We'll say Jim's math teacher hasn't talked to us yet. So we'll take Jim's math teacher, and you know what? I want to send it to the teacher. In this case, there's 3 of us because we're joint teaching. Again, example. You could pick all 3, or you could just send the one and then say, hi there, and send us an email. Or I'm sorry, I didn't even notice this. You could send an individual message to each one if you want it that way. There's even more of that. Bottom line is this: start communicating with your teachers, and our teachers should, and we're going to continue to work with them to help get really good with this Canvas thing. Teachers should be able to work with you really easy and really quick. And when you get an email, it will pop up so that you see it in your box. So when there's an email sitting here in your inbox and it's new, it's going to pop up as, hey, you've got a mail. You've got mail. Oh, sorry, AOL. Okay, so tip 4, talk, communicate. Be sure to make this inbox your friend, because it will easily be the fastest way you can probably communicate on a consistent basis with your teachers. And I would also encourage your students to do that too. This is the easy way to connect with your teachers. All right. Step 5, download the Canvas app. And we're going to take just a few minutes to show you that. I believe I'm going to see if Rob is ready. Are you ready to go with showing the app a little bit? Can you do that real quick? Can we try it?
Sure, we'll give it a shot.
All right. Let's see here. See.
I might need to present my phone.
Yeah, let's see here. Let me stop, pause share. Stop share. There we go. Okay. So give me 1 second here while we switch it over. All right. So now let's see if you can now share it. What we're going to try and do now is show you the app. The app is available on Android and on Apple, and it basically is the exact same interface, more or less, that what you can find online. But the benefit here is it's on your phone and you can get to it very easily. And it's just simply called the Parent Canvas app. If you are looking it up in your download boxes or in your Apple Store, App Store, or the Android Store. It's just the Canvas Parent app. Okay. All right, let's see here.
Right. Okay, let's see. Well, doesn't look like I'm able to share my screen, but I can talk just a little bit about it, give them a little bit of background and some direction if you do end up downloading the app, but I seem to be having some trouble here. Let's try this. See if it works now.
There it goes.
Oh.
All right.
Cool. Okay. All right. So I got the Canvas app over there down in the bottom corner. And so what I'm going to do when I get to this screen is I'm actually going to, the easiest way is actually with a QR login. Okay. So can we, I'm going to switch back to computer now, just real quick. Hopefully this won't take too long. Actually, Addison, maybe you could share, just take your screen up and then go to your Canvas parent page.
Okay, let's see here.
I'm gonna.
This will stop the other sharing. Is that okay? Okay.
Yep.
All right, let's see here. Desktop 1, share. All right, parent page. Got it.
Okay, so when you're in your parent account, we'll click on the account.
Okay.
And then we're going to go, notice it says QR for mobile login there. And so this will come up, and then you click proceed. And there's my QR code. So I can, actually, I'll try to scan that QR code right there. It actually gives you some instructions there on what to do. Okay, so now I'm in. So I'll go ahead and start sharing my phone again.
All right, I'm out.
Okay. Start broadcast. There it goes. 3, 2, 1. All right. So back to my Canvas app. So now I'm actually signed in, and I'm seeing the same thing that Addison was just showing us with the different classes. So a lot of the same functionality as the browser. I can notice in the bottom corner, I got courses, I got the calendar that Addison was showing us, and then any alerts. So I go back to the courses, and I want to check out one of these classes here. I can go inside and I can see what grades. Let's check out the front page. Looks like we need to adjust some sharing there. I can open up an assignment that has not been submitted yet by my student. I can even get a reminder about this assignment if I want, and set that reminder of when I would like that to come through. So the other part, so as you're in the different classes, switching between the classes, here you can see a front page. Basically, it's a copy of what your student sees when they first log in. You know, things like the Google Meet, other important links that the student would need to access. If I go again back to the kind of the landing page of the courses, I can also go over here to my inbox. So we were just in the inbox a minute ago. I can see this email that was in here. So I can do everything on my phone. Everybody loves apps, right? Manage students. In here, I can actually, as many of you asked, okay, can I have multiple students? I can click plus and then add the pairing code and go from there. So I can basically do all the things that Addison was talking about here on my parent app. Did we get any questions about that in the chat, Addison? Okay, so a couple questions it looks like about the
I
app.
apologize, Rob. I haven't seen any of those questions yet, but I'm sure they will. Let me just do a quick rundown. So let me go over again, these top 5 real quickly. We'll answer a few questions as we can. And while we're doing that, if you want to try on your own to do this as we speak, we'll try to hit a couple of those. And again, the hope is if you have some troubles tonight doing this, you're welcome to email, and we will try to get that all resolved. But hopefully, this will be a couple quick steps for you. Okay, so to recap, to make sure that we've got all the basics. The first thing that has to be done, and let me share my screen again. The first thing you got to do is you have to make sure you have your parent Canvas login. So there are 2 pieces you need in order to do that login. Part number 1 is you need to have logged into your child's account. You can do this through the device that they've been provided, or you can do this manually. Let me show you a place on our website to go find more specific information. If you go on the front page of our website tonight, and you find the Canvas parent training link, at just underneath, there's a resource link that says TRSD Canvas parent information. This document gives you the basics about Canvas and links to show you how to do this. There are directions on how your child can log in, either from the TRSD device, from a Chrome browser on a separate device, or from a separate device, separate browser. If you're on your neighbor's Mac and they have Safari, you can still do it. There's the website to log in. Their login is the same as it was. It is their trsdstudents.org login. So once they have logged in, they should be on their screen. Their screen looks very similar to the parent screen. And on account, if you click account for your student and go to settings, that is where you will find the secret that you need to connect the dots, pair with observer. This is the code that connects your child to what will become your Canvas account. Click, take the code, copy, and write it down just in case. And then head to part 2, creating your own account by going to the Canvas website. So when you go to the Canvas website, which I will, let's see here, log out so I can show you. And we've pasted that, and that address is also listed in the document that I just showed you on the website. When you go to this page, you will click on I need a Canvas account. You're going to be a parent, so you're going to sign up. Name, your personal email, the one you want connected, password you create, and then that code that you just wrote down, that sharing code. Once you have done that, it will automatically create the account. You will now be able to log in, and you now have access to a parent Canvas account that will show you all of your students' information, but from your point of view. And as we've talked about, you should personalize this screen. You should make sure you set your notifications the way you want them so that you're not getting too many or too few communications from teachers. You should also get to know the calendar and love it like a friend, because it will tell you so much in one screen. And you should also communicate consistently with your teachers using the Canvas communications inbox, where you can write emails to any one of the teachers that your child has a course in. And then, as we talked about, you're going to want to download the Canvas app. Now, that's the tips and tricks. One last piece I'm going to show you right now, but I'm not going to go down this rabbit hole because it could take us a while, is actually looking in the class. You can click on the class icon and go into your student's course, and you will see everything they can see. You can see the announcements that that the teacher is putting out, his or her front page, and the various links. Please excuse mine, I was working with it and didn't get finished. But they'll have a front page. There are announcements, there are modules, there are assignments. There are lots of different options. The one thing that you don't need to look at, and not that you don't need to, it's just not going to help you, is that if you're looking for grades, grades will not be in Canvas. This will be gone here soon. We're going to be phasing that out. That's the one thing we use in Parent View. And for all of our new parents who don't know, Student View, Parent View is the process by which you can get into the Synergy system, which we keep all our grades in. And so just real quick to show you where you can go to get to that, all you do is go to our website, find the Parent tab, and go to the Parent portal. And there you will find Parent View, and you can sign in to your Parent View account to check their grades. So grades are the one thing that we're keeping in Synergy. Everything else is in Canvas. So you can see their whole class. You can see everything the teacher is putting out there. You can see access to all of the different assignments that they're doing. It's all available. You may not necessarily want to know every single thing about your child's class, or you may want to know every single thing about your child's class. You have that access. But from a management standpoint, the best thing for you is to make sure you've set your screen the way you need to be able to see it quickly. Set your notifications so they don't overwhelm you. Get to know your calendar and communicate with your teacher. That's the big 4 tonight, getting you set up on a Canvas account, figuring out what are the things you need to do. So Rob, let's go to the questions and answers and see if we've got any others for a couple more minutes. If you've got a question right now, pop it in the Q&A box and we'll try to hit it. All right, so let's see here. Still got about 127 of you sitting in here watching, so click that Q&A box. This is your chance to do it. I want to make sure if I can answer the questions I can. If you keep getting an invalid pairing code, make sure that you're copying it without spaces. Sometimes if you copy a space, it's going to look like you're putting the right code in, but the space that's inside it may not be working. You may want to try typing it manually. Attendance. Oh yes, attendance. That's so with attendance is through Synergy. Rob, can you answer to this one? Let me let you take that one.
Yeah, sure. Let me make sure I'm getting the question correctly. Was that in the Q&A or the chat? I was in the Q&A. Okay, here we go. So attendance, yes. So part of attendance is going to be the interaction that occurs, at least one component, the interaction that occurs within Canvas, as well as participation in the live instructional settings. So what's going to happen is that teachers can see detailed logs of everything that the student does within Canvas, how much time they spent on a particular assignment, when it was turned in. There's a lot of really useful data that is provided to the teachers around that, and see how much the student is actually interacting with the class. So that data will then be used to well, determine, hey, were they here or not? And so that will be entered into Synergy.
All right, let's see here. I got here late and missed the login code. Where can I get it? Great question. Go to your student's account, click account, because they'll log in. When they log into their device, it goes straight here first. Click on the account and then click on settings. And in settings, you will see, whoops, where am I? Oh, I'm in the parent account. Sorry. Here we go, student account. In the student account, click account, settings, and you will see pair with observer. That is where you get your observer code to connect with your parent account. You can find more specific details on the Canvas parent information document that is on the front page of our website, just underneath this Canvas training. If you click on TRSD parent, Canvas parent information, that'll give you the steps to take care of that. Can you respond to the drop down for the instruction sheet? Got in late. Need some clarification on that one. Is there a way for parents to see how much time was spent on assignments or in a class? Rob, do we have minute by minute ability to see if a student spent 5 minutes or 5 hours on a project?
Good question. Addison, maybe you could pull up your parent account real quick, and let's check things out.
Okay. Let's see.
Just responding to a question here.
No worries. All right, so
Okay.
Parent account. Oh, there it is. Okay.
All right, so if we, right now you're linked with one student in this account, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so if we go into the class, I believe all we see in here would be assignment information, that kind of thing. This could be something that, it's a great question, and I think it could be very useful as well for parents. I love that video.
That's a good video.
I'll definitely get back to you on that. So if you can shoot me an email, this can kind of make sure that I answer this. I'm going to plug it into.
Ashley, I'm going to put your name down for that question, and we'll get that answer to you. So yeah.
Okay.
This is what we're learning too. So ultimately, if there's a way to get to that quickly, we will find it and we will get that to you. Is Hidden Valley going on Canvas? Yes, all our schools are on Canvas, all elementary, middle, high, and you don't have to connect to the school. The student will connect you automatically. So wherever your student is, as far as his or her classes are, if they're connected to Hidden Valley, or they're connected to Illinois Valley, or they're connected to Lincoln Savage, that goes with the student. But when I'm trying the app, it gives an error message. Whoops, it looks like you're enrolled in it. Of course, we'll have to look on to that one. Let's see. How would you log into the app without the QR code? You log in manually. You simply, what you would do there is on the app itself, you can click login and type in your login information once you've created a login account. So you don't have to do QR. It's just one faster way. You don't have to think about it.
I'll piggyback on that, actually, Addison. So when a student is signing into the Student Canvas app, they can actually just use their normal threerivers.instructure.com login, and that can get them in the app. Now, right now with our parents, the URL, I don't know if you noticed, the link to log in as a parent is a little bit different. So I've reached out to Canvas support on this because you've probably also noticed, because I've answered this earlier, is that when you go to search for our district, it's not popping up. And if you could imagine, there are actually a lot of districts that have transitioned to using Canvas. So I know some of their database needs to be updated. So right now, the only way that you can get into the app as a parent is actually with the QR code. I see a question about the error message saying, whoops, it looks like you're enrolled in any class. Now, I would say that if you haven't already tried to use the QR code, that probably would take care of that. But again, I've put in the chat a couple times, we do have a tech helpline that is available and staffed from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And 541-862-3113. And we'll do our best to help you out. So I know we're all learning, as Addison said, we got a lot to learn here.
Okay, so I've answered some of the questions in the chat. As far as login is the same as last year. So if you don't remember your child's login from last year, or they don't remember, you'll need to contact your individual school to get that information. If you have questions, as Rob talked about, there is a tech support line that can help you during the day. I did put the email back out there. You're always welcome to email us, and I can forward those emails on to the appropriate people to get an answer. Your child may be able to help you is always an option too. And you're always welcome to reach out to a teacher once you're in the app if you have a question about it. There was a question about how do I know my child has or hasn't? The short version there is if they have not submitted it to the teacher, it's going to be shown as overdue or late or no submission. So as long as they've submitted the document, as long as they've done whatever it is and clicked submit at the end, then the teacher has access to it. Now, the teacher may get something and the student didn't hit submit. That's an individual coordination with the teacher. So don't necessarily freak out if a student has something that looks like they haven't done it. I would encourage you to use the inbox, send an email to the teacher and check and see, and it may simply be the child forgot to hit submit. A lot of these questions that I'm seeing about time spent on assignments, on about what if this, what if that, what if a teacher is working, and what if they're doing a lecture or the teacher is showing things and the student is working on assignments. That's going to be a lot of individual teacher student classroom design. And our teachers are, of course, like all of us, working to make the most normal situation out of this abnormal situation that we're in. So I would encourage you, and I encourage all of our parents, reach out to your teachers, make that connection, work to build that relationship so that those questions can be easily and effectively answered, because they know, and we've talked about it, and teachers are in the same boat everybody else is. Many of us have parents in this school district, or many of us are parents, in this school district. And so we're all trying to figure it out together. So if there's concerns about, am I going to get dinged for my kid doing X or not doing enough Y, or this is going to be a working process. And we truly do ask for some patience and grace as we deal with those. So if it's a question about how will things be done as far as in class, I do encourage you, reach out to your teachers. Is there a PDF step-by-step when starting from square one? I encourage you to go back to our website, and on the front page, click on TRSD Canvas parent information. They'll be taken to this document, and there are step-by-steps here, along with some tutorial videos. Now, some of the things I talked about tonight are actually in this amazing video that's listed here called Understanding Your Parent Observer. If you click on it and go to YouTube and watch this great video, we're not going to actually watch it, I'm just showing you. This mom is absolutely amazing. She has written honestly, in some ways, it feels like the book on Canvas. So I do encourage you, if you have the time, go take a look at those video links. Okay, I'm going to go with one or two more. Let me go real quick. And if I didn't get your question, then I will look back in the chat later. Can you? So I'm seeing some people talking about my kid is starting online, hasn't done yet. Right now, we've still been working to get a lot of the tech kinks out. So if your child is online, distance learning online from their school, and they haven't necessarily gotten started, this was the week to kind of figure out a lot of those bumps and bruises. Everyone should be able to start logging in consistently every day as their schedule dictates starting Monday. So if you're still having significant issues on Monday, you're going to want to reach out to the individual school that your student is with to find out if there's something else that needs to be done in order to resolve whatever situation is occurring. Again, teachers in schools are being very flexible right now and trying to figure out the rhythm for assignments and for moving forward with academic content. But right now, the most important focus is we need to get the consistency going. So we want to make sure our kids are getting online. They're able to engage with their fellow classmates and teacher in the digital setting. And in the case of K3, Canvas will start to be used and will be used just like 412, but they'll be doing the work on site at that point. Okay, I'm going to take the questions that are listed that we didn't get a chance to answer, and I'm going to go look in the chat if people put questions in there and didn't put it in the Q&A, and Rob and I will go through those. I really want to thank you for all that. I think there was like 120, 130 of you at one point. I really appreciate you taking time on a Thursday afternoon in the middle of what we're all dealing with to learn about this. We will try to do more of these, and I will push to try and get more step-by-steps out when I can. So you might be seeing videos of me giving you how to play-by-play. But again, as I'm saying to all my parents on a daily basis, thank you for allowing us to serve your students. Please, please, please be patient with us. This is a crazy time. And I truly believe Canvas is going to be great. And it's going to be an amazing tool that really takes the fear out of connecting with what our kids are working on in the classroom. And it's going to be a great way for us to engage as parents with teachers and as parents with students in what they're doing and what they're learning and how they're growing in our schools. So thank you so much for coming out to hang out with us tonight. I hope you have a great evening. I'm going to turn off the video and the mic, but I'm going to leave the chat room open for just another minute for posting some questions, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks, Rob.
Thanks, Addison. Thanks, everybody.